Welcome to day 28 of our school year. All right, we are on day 28 out of a total of 180 school days. 28 is even. The only even number that's prime is 2, so 28 has to be composite. Because 2 is a factor, so it already makes it more than 2 factors. You can also check on your prime number sieve if you're not sure. 28 is not circled, so it is definitely composite. All right, so that means we have to do the prime factorization for both our denominator and our numerator. Let's see, 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 0 is 9. 9 is a multiple of 3, so 3 is a factor. I can get 6 groups of 3 out of 18, and then I have my placeholder. 60 is even. I can divide by 2. Half of 6 is 3, and then my placeholder. It ends in a 0, so I can divide by 5. 5 times 6. 6 is even, so I can divide by 2, and I get 3. 3 is prime. I'm done with my factorization there. Over here, 28 is even, so I can divide by 2. Half of 20 is 10. Half of 8 is 4. That's even, so I can divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 is prime, so we're done with our factorization. Let's go ahead and write down the prime factorization from least to greatest. Denominator is now 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And our numerator is 2 times 2 times 7. Okay, let's look for those common prime factors. And it looks like we have 2 times 2. So we're left with 7 in the numerator, and then 3 times 3, which is 9, times 5, which is 45. So 7 45ths. But our greatest common factor is 4. So let's go ahead and make our groups of 4. Four is a perfect square, so I can use that to help me make my groups. Does not matter what your groups look like. They do not have to be perfect squares. Just as long as they have 4 in each group and you keep the shaded separated from the unshaded. Alright, so I have all my groups of 4. The way I did it, I ended up with 5 in each row, so I can count by 5s to find my new denominator. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And how many are shaded in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I did my division with my model. Now I'm going to use my algorithm. Divide by my greatest common factor. Remember, it has to work for both. If it's not a common factor, we don't use it. And if you do the greatest common, then you only have to do it once. If you just do a common factor, like I could say, oh, they're both even, I'll divide by 2. Then you have to do it again. But that's okay, because it's better to get to the right answer slowly when you know you're being precise and correct than quickly and make a mistake. But here, let's go ahead and do our area model. Oops, too high, sorry. So we're dividing 180 by 4. And we're also dividing 28 by 4. I know 4 quarters gives me 100. Numbers the same, zeros the game. More on top, no need to stop. So I'm going to bring 80 up here. And 20 times 4 is 80. Numbers the same, zeros a game. 25 plus 20 is 45. Here I know that 5 times 4 gets me 20. And I get 8. Bring the 8 up. 2 times 4 is 8. Numbers the same, zeros a game. And 5 plus 2 is 7. We still need to check our answer, which is divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Those are our inverse operations. But since our remainder for both is 0, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, I don't need to take the time to add the 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 4 tens is 16 tens, plus 2 more tens is 18 tens, or 180. 4 times 7 is 28. Well, let's see, 28, that does match my dividend. 180, that does match my dividend. So both of them check. That means my numerator is definitely 7, and my denominator is definitely 45. All right, now let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. Still in trimester 1, week 7. Today's date is 9/17/19, and our fraction for today is 7/45. Let's get out our number line. We did groups of 4. So here we have 5/45, which is equivalent to 4/36, which is equivalent to 1/9. It's also equivalent to 10/90. We have 6/45. That is equivalent to 12/90 and to 2/15. And then today is 7/45. It does have an equivalent fraction in the 2's. And then here, 28/180. So this is our equivalent fraction in lowest terms, or our simplest form. Let's go ahead and put your number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.